Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Should You Pull. We're gonna go over the genealogy of the Holy War banner and why I think you should probably skip it unless you love these characters. Long story short, for this video, you can just hear this one sentence and get out of here if you want, but we'll go in depth with the characters anyway. I feel like this is for sure a skippable banner, and considering they're permanent and we haven't had a seasonal style banner soon, we haven't had a couple really solid units coming soon that are limited. I really think you should be saving for that instead. Again, unless you're a type of person who just loves Ishtar or Lene or Lene, however you say these stupid names are so hard. Or Ares. By the way, apparently Ares is not how you're supposed to say that either. I don't know when I'm gonna get these right. But let's take a look at the cost distribution first. This is taken from Reddit. I'm not sure by who. I don't see a watermark anywhere. I'm sorry. Thank you for the person who does this. We have an average of 144 orbs to get a specific red. So if you're pulling just for Ares, it takes you about 144 orbs on average. That's a lot of orbs. Or if you're pulling for either one of the two, you're just going until you get one of the two. That's all that matters to you. It takes about 72 orbs. So actually pretty good for 72 orbs to get either one of those. We have Ishtar, who I think is the one you should be pulling for, if anything, here. And she's got an average of 127 orbs to pull her. Yes. I think that's a lot of orbs, and I think that is the main reason why you kind of need to pass on this banner. So first, let's take a look at Lene here, and the reason why we want to take a look at her first, because I think there's a damn good chance she's demoted. I feel like after the end of this banner, she's the one that's going to be in the 4-star pool. A lot of people are saying nobody, but I think it's Lene, just because she already does the same thing as Olivia. We're not really adding anything new. Her stats aren't even that much different. The only thing that is blatantly power kept with Lene is her art. Like, if you take a look at Olivia's art, Akira did an okay job of Olivia's art, but I'm not a big fan. One of the reasons why I haven't 5-starred her yet. But Lene's is just bonkers. It's so good. Such an insane looking art. And I love it. And Yoshiko did a fantastic job, and I will be 5-starring her if she is demoted, just because of the art here. So there's some of you out here who care about stats instead of just art. I'm not sure who you are or why, but we might as well talk about them, eh? We have Olivia versus Lene. They're essentially the same character. I don't see too much difference between them. Lene is slightly faster, 2-speed faster, and slightly more res tanky. She's got 2 more res at the trade-off for 4 defense. And I do miss that 4 defense that Olivia has, but luckily for us, she has a super boon in defense that puts her up to 27 defense, 34 with safeguard, 38 with a refine if that's a thing, and then like 44 with close defense if you want to go that far. I really like this, and I think she's going to be really solid if you can fish for IVs if she is demoted. Being able to get that 27 defense, which does put her into the 150 BST area, is just going to be so solid of a unit for her. And I can't argue with her base stats. They're almost exactly what I want in a dancer. As for her skills here, they're solid. That's pretty much the tagline for Lene, is just solid. She's overall a good unit. Safeguard Plus is something I'm going to use absolutely and probably going to inherit on Olivia. Gale Dance, or Firestorm Dance, I should say, I'm going to change for Wom just because Wings of Mercy is such a good ability. I can't do dances without it anymore. I just can't do it. I end up suiciding or thinking I have it and I don't have it, and it's just sad news. So I keep Wom as much as I can on my dances, and I think you should too. Sword Valor 3 is of course great. I have it on Crom, but I'm never going to use it because I always forget to put them in. I would always keep this on, but if you're in +10 arena trying to get some extra stats out here, you can obviously change the Z skill. As for the A, I think it depends on how heavily you want to invest on her. I think if she's demoted and you want to get some merges on her, I think she's a prime candidate for distant counter. She's super defensive, she can take the hits, and she can hit back pretty hard as well. Alternatively, if you are not going to +10 or you're just sitting there at +0, I would just do Fury to keep her bulk up. So overall, she's a fantastic unit, but I would wait as my advice for Lene. Next up, we have Ares here, and whether or not you're pulling for Lene or Ares, you're going to have to consider either or, because there's such a good chance you're pulling for Ares and good old Lene pops up, or you're pulling for Lene and Angry Man with the sword pops up. So keep that in mind. You have to want both of these to be able to pull red IMO. His base stats are really solid. He's got 156 BST, 36 attack, 30 speed, 33 defense. Those are the ones that really matter there. But unfortunately, his 2 dump stats in res and HP are both super banes, which does really hurt him. I think if you get plus defense, plus speed, or plus attack, they're all really good IVs, and you're kind of hoping for minus HP or minus res. Just go with that Super Bane and be done with it. As for skills here, you're obviously not going to want to change his weapon. You're going to give him reposition, that's about it. Possibly change his special up too. I'm not sure what's best for him. I'm going to keep Brazen Attack Defense because why wouldn't you? It's such a good skill. You're definitely going to take out the B slot though. Maybe Desperation, maybe Swordbreaker, Axebreaker, something like that. But definitely not running Seal Defense and Res. And then of course the C skill depends on your team. Give him Hone Cavalry or something like that. Overall, really great unit. I don't think he's going to be demoted after thinking about how good he is. And I think his Brazen Attack Defense is great to add to the 5-star pool finally. And I don't think our dreams are going to be answered. And I don't think it's going to be in the 4-star pool. And finally here we have Ishtar, the Thunder Goddess, and I've heard so much about her. I always thought she was going to be in a GHB just the way people were talking. Anytime people asked about what GHP they hoped for, I always heard Ishtar in the mix, so I'm glad to get her as a playable unit. It's kind of cool that they were able to do that instead of a GHB, so we can now merge her up. Her art, a lot of people are hating on, but I really do like her art. I love the colors, I love everything about it. It's fantastic. Her stance is a little different, but maybe her personality makes that stance make sense. One thing I want to take a look at first is Lene the Light Mage. Holy crap, she's been in here since February 2nd, 2017. So long ago. And look at her stats, she's 35, 36, still higher offensive spread than basically everybody else in the game, and it's so cool that she still has those stats. Like, there's very few units that were released that early that can even compare to this, and that just shows how good Lene was back in the day. And let's take a look at her skills here. They're bonkers as we expected the chase unit to be. Mjolnir, accelerate special cooldown. You pretty much have to give that now to really good weapons, I think. Like, how do you beat slaying weapons at this point in the game? They're just too valuable. It also gives Darting Blow, +6 speed during combat when initiation happens. So good. Combining that with Swift Sparrow for attack and speed on initiation, and also +6 attack everywhere on odd turns. This brings her to a total of +10 to attack and speed both on odd number turns on initiation. So unbelievably good. She's going to be just a destroyer of worlds. Puts her to 44 attack and 46 speed without any other buffs, just herself at +0. Holy crap, she's good. He also buffs other people, as if odd attack wave wasn't good enough, having +6 attack to yourself on a C skill, but you also do adjacent allies as well, +6 attack. I can't wait to see odd speed, odd res, odd defense, all those odd things, and even attack eventually be added to the game. And one thing to note too is it always starts on an odd turn, so the very first turn of every battle, you're gonna have those stat boosts. I'm not even sure what else to say about her. She is perfect in every sense of the word. Her stats are great, her build is great, her art is great, her name is great, her title is great, everything about her is fantastic. If you're going to pull on this banner, you should 100% be focusing on Ishtar and nothing else, IMO. One thing I do find weird is Vantage. She has 2 skills that do not work with it, and it just kind of doesn't make sense to have it. Mjolnir is on initiation, it's Darting Blow. Swift Sparrow is also basically Darting Blow, that's also on initiation, that also doesn't work. But Odd Attack Wave does. On odd enemy faces, you will get that attack bonus, so that's something. Maybe she's just so powerful that that's all she needs, and she doesn't really need the on initiation stuff to guarantee those kills. I'll really have to test out which to use with her, but I'll be keeping Vantage if I do get her, just because I really like Vantage, if you can't tell. So those are my individual thoughts on this banner. If I'm to give this banner a should you pull out of 10, I'm gonna rate it so low. Like, this is 3 out of 10 on should you pull is my guess. Like, 10 being you should pull, 0 being you shouldn't pull. So I obviously think you should be skipping this banner. There's so many problems with it and so many traps, I guess you could say. Ishtar is great and fantastic, but she's another blue infantry mage, and we're getting flooded with them lately, I feel like. I've got so many of them. I've got Taltu, I've got May, I've got Delthea, I've got Blucina, I've got Bride Sheeta. There's just so many. While she's better than all of them, I don't think she's better enough to pull. To top it all off, she's 130 orbs on average to get her, something like that. To top it off again, you have to snipe for blue, which just feels so atrocious. And outside of that, if you're going for red, you've got a 50-50 chance of getting who you want. Then there's also the chance the one you want is demoted. There's just so many things that can go wrong with this banner. I would stay away. Keep in mind, we have a pretty good chance of a seasonal coming soon. We have a pretty good chance of a Hero Fest coming soon. We have a pretty good chance of CYL coming soon. We have a pretty good chance of a good legendary soon. So there's just so many things. Just don't do it. Hold your orbs unless you're in love with Ishtar. You know her from her game and you can't live without her. Anyway, side note, I broke my pity rate on my Hinoka banner. I got another Hinoka. It took me 100 orbs. I feel bad about it, but at least we got a Hinoka. And that's about it. Oh, my alt got a Shigure, of course, on like one summon. Why wouldn't he? My alt is bonkers. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always. Let me know what you think, what you plan on pulling in the comments below, and hopefully I've swayed you into saving your orbs, because I think this is definitely it. Save your orbs. Bye, guys.